who's the high-profile safety rumored that we are trying to get? And there's one name and one name only at the top
Yeah,
of that list, and that
he's
is
too good.
Jesse Bates from Cincinnati.
Jesse Bates.
I just don't think that there's a way Cincinnati can keep him. It's basically him or T. Higgins, and they are going T. Higgins. So the safety is going to walk. He's an absolute stud. What are your thoughts on him? And you
I
think the
mean,
49ers should pursue this?
it's gonna cost, right?
It's
So
going to
so
cost a
he's
lot.
good. He's the number one safety out there in the free agent market, guys. So that means he'll be paid the highest. I mean, there's a possibility of bringing Jimmy Ward back. I know a lot of people, some fans like that. Some fans feel like no, it's time to move on. So forth, so forth. But listen, Jesse Bates would be the best safety out there on the market. It makes sense that they're looking to target a secondary player. I wonder why. Steve Wilkes just make the connection. I mean, as far as him coaching secondary, it's just kind of like his strength. It's kind of like what he does. So why not get the best player at this position? And for the
He's the
first,
best player by
yeah,
a considerable margin.
by a considerable margin. And so that means so with him being the best by a considerable margin, you're gonna have to pay the best. So I just want y'all to know that. Like if he's the best, y'all gonna have to pay for it. And he's probably gonna cost you about
Spotrax got it at 14 million projected.
I think he's gonna get a little bit higher than that, dog. Like
He's 20. He
17.
just turned 26 2 weeks
I'm
ago.
talking 17. He might top it at the 17, $18 million a year. Somebody's gonna pay him that. That's to me where the 49ers may come in at 14 million, 15 million, maybe max, but then here comes a different team with more money and he's gonna play for a contract. Unfortunately, he's young and he's gonna get that contract. So
Yeah.
I
So I
don't
want
know.
you to throw this in the chat, guys. I want to hear your answer. Yes, on Bates, you're fine giving that money to a safety. You'd have the best safety tandem in
In
the
the league.
NFL
Yeah,
with Hufanga and Bates for years to come. But
26.
yeah, he's 26. Is that something that you want to do? It's going to cost you. And so basically, you're saying we're not going to sign McGlinchey. We're going to bring in Bates instead. Let's see. So throw this in there. Yes or no? Too expensive? Yes, I want the best safety tandem in the NFL. Now, right here, I think the value would be CJ Gardner Johnson.
So
I don't
this
think he's walking out of that building.
so
I
this
like
but this is who I want. This is where I would go. Mainly for his versatility, his safety play, his nickelback play. If you're trying to replace a Jimmy Ward, this is the guy that you want. You want the younger guy in here, a guy that gives you zero problems at playing it, a guy that can cover, and a guy that's going to hit you. But what John said was there's no way that they're going to let him out. But here's the
I
thing,
don't think
they
so either.
might not have money to pay him if they're working on a deal for their quarterback. And so I'm not sure how many players the Philadelphia Eagles, I was about to say the Flyers, are going to be able to keep, but I guarantee he's going to be on top of their dock. And there's a possibility that they franchise tag him by tomorrow. So just pay attention to what's going on out there.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. The Eagles DB coach was Denard Wilson, who was a finalist for that DC job. They chose not to go with him and they hired outside. And the DB coach said, peace. And he's the one that CJ Gardner Johnson has credited with
Mhm.
finally helping him get over the hump. And so who knows? With the way they're going, they've lost their defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, number 2 defensive coach. We'll see what that looks like. But yeah, CJ Gardner Johnson's going to get paid. There's no doubt about it. I
Those
just
that's my 1 and 2 though, Johnson. Like it's 1, it's 2, and then Jimmy Ward will probably be the third paid best safety remaining on that list. If you took it, and then you're starting to tear yourselves down a little bit
yeah.
because Von Bell is there too from Cincy, and so that's probably the player they'll bring back. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. Free agency is gonna be crazy.
And I'll say this, these two players are completely different.
Completely
Bates
different.
is way more consistent and does not give up big plays at all.
No.
Charlie Gardner Johnson is a mad dog, trash talking, playmaking safety that does get beat and get a lot of penalties, but he is balls to the wall crazy.
He's just energetic. He's the Wayne Breezy of safeties, yo. He's coming in with he's coming in like a missile. It's almost like having Deshaun Goldson back, pretty much.
Yeah, and it would be crazy, and that's a reason why I like Bates is I want the yin and the yang, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
want the
Yes, sir.
huff to be crazy,
Yes.
and I want the blanket over the top.
Yes. Yes.
You get 2 crazies,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it could be fun. It'd be more fun. It'd be
It'd be
more
more
fun.
penalties.
Be a lot more penalties, man. It'd be a lot more penalties, but
Oh,
also interceptions. I
yeah,
mean, Charlie Gardner Johnson was up by like 3 interceptions on the league before he got injured. He makes some damn good plays. He
he
makes some
does
good
make plays.
plays.
He's a playmaking safety. Like, that's what he is. But he's been that way. He's been that way. He was a risk taker in New Orleans, and he's just that guy. But I would love to see his young dogness on this defense. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would be fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.